And now we've gone to the edited section of this video where I'm getting stuff that I didn't get before necessarily. This I found is the other room that I was missing. That is a dolphin. His name is Snorkel, and he is trapped under the Rusty Bucket's anchor. To free him, you have to swim past the anchor chain up into the, I don't know what you call this, the winding house? I'm not exactly sure what you call it. But where the anchor is housed, basically, there's a gigantic room here, and it's all full of wall monsters, and you have to work your way down this gauntlet, killing everything in your path, and reach the area where you can raise the anchor, get it off Snorkel, and free him. Now, there are 4 notes in this room with the anchor butt. That means that by the time you go to the engine room, you should have collected 88 notes. Keep that in mind, because there are 12 notes in the engine room itself. When you play this game, if you ever play this game, make sure you have all 88 notes from outside the engine room before you even attempt to go into the engine room. Because if you manage to collect all 88 notes at least, then you will at least manage to finish the game. So, yeah. For freeing Snorkel, he gives us a Jiggy. No biggie. I like Snorkel. I wish he was in the game more, but he's literally just in those 2 little scenes, and you never talk with him, so. Now this is where I was thinking that there was something else in this. Sorry about the yawn. I thought the other honeycomb piece was in this room, but it's not. It's in another area that I missed in my initial run-through, or my second run-through of the level. I keep thinking it was my initial run-through because I died so quickly that first time, but no, it was my second run-through. So yeah, I'm thinking it's like, maybe is it up there? Do I have to climb the chain? Nope. Just backtrack back out of here and just leave. After you get the Jiggy and the notes, after you get the notes, you don't have to, you know, there's nothing else to do. I don't get the Jiggy right away because I honestly forgot it was there, and instead I went around backtracking and I managed to go back to this room, the warehouse in the middle, the blue storage container, the middle one, and I finally found the blue Jinjo. He's back over here on the exact opposite side of where you go in, back behind those boxes. So yeah, there he is. And then, obviously, I haven't got the orange one yet because I hadn't quite backtracked to that point, but I'll be getting him shortly. And you can see there's absolutely nothing else in here. So after you get the Mumbo Token and the blue Jinjo, there's literally no other reason to come back into this container, and you can just safely ignore it. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't edit most of this out, but I guess I wanted to show myself climbing back out of the container for some reason. And here we are trying to cross this narrow little platform to get across to where the crane is. This is my second attempt at grabbing this Jinjo, actually, which is why I recommend extending that platform before you get the Jinjo, and then, you know, extending this one. Do the 6 before the 8, basically. So you can see I killed these guys the first time, and then this third guy actually knocked me off. So, yeah. I mean, those guys aren't hard to kill, but they're really annoying. And the fact that you don't have an invincibility frames or anything, it's really just, I don't know, bugs me. So there's the Jinjo Jiggy. We have 7 now. Again, I missed the one with Snorkel. I'm actually going to be picking up that right now because I was like, wait, I know that there are 2 in the engine room. Where is the one that I missed? I was a dork and I just completely forgot to pick up the Jiggy after Snorkel dropped it. I thought I automatically collected it for some reason, but I totally didn't. Oh, and I'm totally about to die here, but if you swim along the surface and jump most of the time, you can actually get like little itty bitty puffs of air that are just enough to keep you alive. And then over here, by the area where Snacker is, you can see there's actually, you can't really see it from this angle, but there's a little hole right down here by the actual bottom of this area, right in that side of the warehouse. And this opens up probably the most odd area in this entire level. It's a gigantic room with a lifeboat and a grubbin and a flying pad and life preserver enemies and everything. And there's literally nothing in here except for a handful of feathers and a switch on the far side of the room that causes a second honeycomb piece to appear. There is nothing else in here. It's a very nice room. I love the lighting effect in here. It looks great for N64. It reminds me a lot of like the Temple of Time in Legend of Zelda, but there's no reason for this room to exist. They could have put this honeycomb piece anywhere, and they decided to put it into this great-looking room with great ambiance all by itself, which makes no sense at all. I have no idea why this room exists. I have no idea why, you know, they decided to stick the honeycomb piece here, but I guess it does, and they did. Anyway, the water here looks clear, but it's actually the same as the water everywhere else in the bay, so you don't want to spend too much time swinging around in it. Just, you know, go across, hit the switch, go back across, grab the flying pad. It looks like you can smash that window, but you can't. Then just land from the flying pad and leave the area. This is why I was thinking when I was originally playing this level, it's odd for a level this late in the game not to have any flying in it. I was wrong, and this room is why. Anyway, moving on. This is the speed-up version of collecting all of the notes in this level. I don't know if I'm going to be putting this in the video or not, because I did want to show collecting all 88 notes outside of the level, because I did have to, again, I tried the engine room, I died again, and then this is just me speedrunning this entire level again for a 5th time at this point to be able to collect all the notes a 5th time. You have to backtrack to pretty much every room in this level because every room has at least 3 notes in it. And the amount of tracking and backtracking and going back over ground that you've already gone through is incredibly annoying, and especially if you don't remember where all the notes are. I did, fortunately, I managed to track down where they all were. I remembered, because I'd played through this level 5 times by this point, I did remember pretty much where they all were. I was able to get them all without dying. But yeah, that's the only, you know, at this point I'm literally just not caring about anything else. Just grab the notes and get out. There's a few notes in here that you want to make sure to grab. Again, like I said, this is all backtracking. I'm not sure even if this is even gonna make it into the video, but I did want to just show how easy it is to get all of the notes in a level, or how difficult it is to get all the notes in a level after you've already finished it a couple of times. Just speedrunning it to get all the notes isn't hard, but it's so tedious and it's so boring and it's so frustrating to have to play through the level again just to get all the notes that you're sure that you grabbed last time. It's incredibly frustrating to have to do. There's 3 notes in there. There's 5 notes in here. Again, you want to have 88 notes before you go to the engine room. That's where the last 12 notes are. And yeah, if you don't have them by that point, you're screwed. There's 63. Most of the notes are in the rooms around. There's, again, at least 3 in every room aboard the Rusty Bucket. There's also a whole bunch on the scaffoldings and such above the Rusty Bucket. There's 3 more on this crane that you want to make sure not to miss. There's none in the room with Boss Boombox, so you don't have to backtrack there. You don't have to backtrack to where the orange ninja was either, so you don't have to worry about that one. I backtrack here because I'm like, oh, I'll just pick up some never mind. And then around here on the back of the ship, on the stern again, there's 6 notes. You want to make sure to grab those. I'm at 76 right now. Down here where the propeller room is, again, you want to make sure to come down here before you go to the engine room, otherwise those fans will kill you and you will not be able to finish the engine room. There's 4 or 5 notes, I couldn't count exactly. There's 5 on each of these scaffoldings, I believe. 4 or 5, yeah, 5 of them. And now we have 88, so now we can go to the engine room again. Welcome back. This time we are actually going to finish this. This is my 5th run through of this level, and at this point I was like, okay, I'm going to probably have to do the same thing that I just did, collecting all the notes and then coming back to here to the engine room again and again and again, because I was expecting to have to die in this area several more times. Fortunately, though, as you'll probably wind up seeing, well, not as you probably, as you will wind up seeing, that what didn't wind up being the case, but This part isn't as difficult as I made it look the first time. It's kind of like those blocks in Mario Sunshine where all you have to do is basically keep jumping and then you're fine. There's a maritime grubbin or whatever he's called right there. These pipes are like the ones in Frantic Factory and Donkey Kong 64 where you can, you know, they'll spin and then they'll stop and then they'll spin up again. So you have to, it's basically a patience game. You have to wait for them to stop spinning and then go and do it. And then there are some camshafts here, I guess you could call them, that you have to, so there's a Mumbo token there. The second time I reached the engine room, I actually tried to get that Mumbo token and I'm dying. So at this point I was just like, forget it, I'm not gonna do it. And then to get to the next area, you actually have to cross that, which isn't easy. Basically what you have to do is you have to backflip up on top of the camshaft and then jump across. And those propellers right there are the ones that would be spinning constantly at a top speed unless you would hit that switch, which would prevent you from getting one of the jiggies. You could technically get the other one, but it would be you would make your job much harder. So yeah, you have to climb out on the camshaft, jump up to the top, then jump off here and make it. I barely made that. I almost died. I was freaking out at this point. Come up here, grab an extra life just to celebrate the fact that you're not dead, and then come out here and hit this switch. There are two of these switches here, both of which slow down the propellers on the outside of the ship. One will cause them to spin from really fast to slower, and the other one will stop them completely. They both have to be pressed, though. It doesn't matter what order they're pressed in. And then the other jiggy is right there at the very back of the engine room. To reach it, you have to jump through these spinning fans, which isn't as easy as it looks, because if the second you hit those fans, you bounce, and you'll either bounce forward or backwards depending on which side of the fan you're on. And right there, I almost died again. I was freaking out. I almost had a heart attack. And then I finally just decided to jump it. I got hit by the back side of the fan and got pushed through to this area. Now there are 4 more notes here. You can see that my note score is now up to 96. There are 4 more notes on the other side that we can grab. So there are 3 clusters of 4 notes, 12 notes total, which makes you go from 88 to 100. There is Jiggy number 9. That one isn't so hard. I mean, it's hard, yes, it's difficult, because you're gonna die so much in this room, but it's not the hardest Jiggy. The propeller Jiggy is harder, and you're going to see why in a minute. Because you can't backtrack out of that way, you've got to go over to the left, because otherwise you're gonna miss those notes, and you're gonna miss that second switch. So I guess we have to go this way then. But at this point, I'm gun shy because those fan blades, they're gonna bump you off. They're gonna knock you over the side. They're gonna kill you. I'm just like, okay, I've only got 1 shot at this point. I've come this far. I'm not gonna fail now. So I jump. I get hit, but I make it. Sweet, awesome. Hit the switch. Let's go. But you got to line up your shot, because as soon as you hit this switch, you've got to run. Believe me, you have to run. Hitting the second switch causes the propellers to completely stop. And then you have 65 seconds to get from here in the engine room all the way back out to the outside of the Rusty Bucket Bay, outside of the Rusty Bucket, and grab that last Jiggy. But hey, we've got all 100 notes. So if we do have to do this again, we only have to get the Jiggy. We don't have to worry about collecting all the notes again. That's great. That's awesome. So just run. Run, run, Banjo. Use the talent shot if you have to. 40 seconds. Climb all the way back up out of the area, out of the smokestack, out of the engine room, all the way back out to this Rusty Bucket main deck. 30 seconds. Trying to find the door. Miss the door. Back into the door. 25 seconds. All right. Towards the stern of the ship. Run for it. 20 seconds. Almost there. There it is. Stern of the ship. Keep going. Keep going. 15 seconds. Jump for it. Jump for it. The water's dirty, but you gotta swim. Hit it. 10 seconds. Go. Horrible swimming controls. Press B. Press B. Swim faster. Swim it. Yes. Grab it. Now swim out. Swim out or you're gonna die. Swim out or you're gonna die. 2 seconds. 1. We're in the clear. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardest Jiggy in the game. First try after reaching the first propeller switch. And that's it. We finished Rusty Bucket Bay. We finished the hardest level in Banjo Kazooie. Honestly, this level is just as hard as its reputation causes it to be deserved to be. And not just because of the propeller jiggy either. The sheer amount of backtracking and tediously going over every area again and again, and the deadly water here makes this level a pain in the butt, no matter what. But guess what? We don't have to come back.